Hello, everyone. Welcome to everyone who's coming on. Welcome to all my replay viewers, both those on Periscope and YouTube. Thanks so much for joining me today. If this is your first time with me, welcome. I'm going to flip my camera around so I can talk with you guys. Hello, welcome. My name is Keely, and I am the owner of LoveHopeAdventure.com, and I blog about the marriage relationship, intimacy in marriage, how you can go deeper in your marriage with your spouse, and I also do some lifestyle posts, and also I am a huge advocate of being body positive, and I wanted to kind of expand on this with you guys today. Now, I'm going to tell you something. I am a marriage blogger, and you might ask to yourself, well, what does being body positive really have to do with your marriage? Well, it has to do a lot with your marriage. In fact, if you're not positive about your body, if you don't feel confident about yourself, it literally affects every single area of your life, particularly your marriage, because you are being intimate with your spouse, and when you don't like the way you look, when you don't feel good about yourself, when you have all sorts of insecurities, it keeps you from experiencing freedom in your sex life. And this is one of the reasons why I have continued to talk with you guys about it. And I think you guys are crying out for someone to help you feel good about yourselves again. And there's a possibility that you've never felt good about yourself. I've been there, and I have struggled with body image issues my entire life. I think we all have. So the first thing I want you to understand is that you're absolutely not alone in this. You are not at all alone in your body image issues. I think men, women, children, I don't care how old you are, I don't care what your gender is or whatever, all of us at some time or another are going to feel insecure about the way we look. So some points in your life you might have this better than others. And I think that there are a lot of moms who watch my videos and who follow me on Love Hope Adventure. And guys, we're all kind of in the same boat here. We've had children, and it has just really changed our bodies. Our bodies are not going to be the same after children as before, and it's not supposed to be that way. And for some reason in our society and in our culture, we've just decided that a woman who has a baby should be able to get it all back like it was before. And honestly, that is just not true. It's just not. Once you have kids, your body is going to be different. Once you age, your body's going to be different, even if you don't have children. Once you grow older, things are going to sag. Everybody's so worried about tight skin and being thin and all this, but eventually, guys, all the things we do to ourselves, it's going to fade away. And there is lasting beauty that we have within ourselves that it comes from inside of us. So the truth is it doesn't matter what you look like, or what size you are, or what age you are, or how loose or tight your skin is. Real beauty comes from within you. It starts in your mind. That's where it lives. And when you feel beautiful, you display it. Your attitude is kind. The way you treat others is wonderful. And the way you see yourself is loving. And so it helps you to be loving to others. So we have to have all this start in our mind. Now, I titled this this video, How to Get Your Sexy Back, all right? Because I've got a lot of people who want to know, how do I feel sexy again? And I've had commenters tell me that they feel bad, that this is even a problem for them. They feel like, man, of all the issues in the world and people going through tragedies, I'm sitting over here feeling low because of the way I look. I wish this wasn't such a big issue for me. First of all, I want to encourage you not to minimize your feelings, no matter what they are. Don't minimize what you're feeling. Don't even try to rationalize it away. Don't think to yourself, well, I shouldn't feel this way, or I shouldn't say this, or whatever. Instead, address the problem, because there is a problem. You are allowed to feel bad about the way you look. So address the problem. Work through it. Don't make yourself feel even worse because you feel bad about the way you look. You're really just being negative. So instead, work to change your mindset. change the way you view yourself. And whether you have had children, or maybe you're one of my guy viewers that are watching, and you're saying, oh my goodness, everybody I know is working out and they got all these abs and I don't, and I'm getting older. Regardless of who you are, we need to feel sexy with our spouse. Now, I want that to sink in for you for a minute. It is so important that you feel sexy with your spouse. Because if you don't, it is going to affect your sex life. And when you have your sex life isn't being optimal in your relationship, it affects other parts of your marriage. This is so important, and it starts with the way you view yourself. So if you are in that position where maybe you've never felt sexy, or maybe you're struggling to feel sexy again, maybe there was this time, but now you've had kids, or you're getting older, or whatever, what do you do to feel sexy? Here are some tips that I have for you. First of all, change your mindset. I have this idea that I constantly tell you guys, fake it until you make it. Now, I'm not saying fake sexual satisfaction, but what I am saying is that sometimes you just have to keep telling yourself something until you believe it. All right, so you tell yourself over and over again, I am attractive, I am sexy, I am beautiful, my spouse wants to have sex with me. They are attracted to me. Just keep telling yourself that. I'm beautiful, I'm sexy, I'm attractive. All right? Just tell yourself that on a daily basis. Get in front of the mirror and look at yourself and say, I'm attractive, I'm sexy, I look good. Instead of nitpicking to death every single part of yourself. Get in front of the mirror and say to yourself, I look good. I am desirable. My spouse desires me. And keep doing that. Eventually you'll believe it. Okay? But if your thoughts are always negative, then you have nowhere to go from here. If your thoughts are, I'm fat, I'm ugly, I'm old, I don't have good clothes, look at my freaking hair, that's all negative, and there's no way you're ever going to feel good about yourself if you don't tell yourself good things and positive things. The second thing I wanted to share with you is to stop obsessing. Just stop. I think that we are a culture that is driven to perfection about the way you look, about everything. Stop it. Stop obsessing. Somebody's like, how are you in my head? I don't know. I'm just saying what's on my mind, guys, because this is something I'm passionate about, and I've dealt with it myself, and I still struggle with it. I still struggle with feeling secure in who I am, all right? So you need to stop nitpicking. When you look in the mirror and you see your stomach, instead of thinking to yourself, look at those stretch marks, think to yourself, look at my beautiful stomach that birthed my babies. That was really hard for me. And I have done some scopes about how I'm choosing to celebrate my stomach, because this has been an area for me that I've had to figure out how to love it once again, because my stomach got all stretched out and lots of stretch marks. And this was a feature of my body that I really loved, but then it changed after I had children, and I was just obsessing over the way it looked. Oh, it's not small enough. Oh, there's stretch marks. Oh, it sags. Oh, this. And instead of obsessing over it, I've just decided I'm going to look in the mirror and I'm going to say, I love my stomach, because frankly, it's mine. And I should love me, and I should love the things about me. So when you're looking in the mirror, stop obsessing. You know how some people are like, look at that one little piece of hair that's out of place, and they've got beautiful hair. Their hair is so pretty, it's all done up, and they're all freaking out about that one little strand. That's obsessing. Quit it. That is what you're doing when you're standing in front of the mirror and you're nitpicking every single little part of your body. Oh, my boobs sag, or my butt, or my stomach, or look at those wrinkles in my legs, instead of thinking about yourself as an entire person. Look at me. Look at who loves me. Look at who is affected by me. You're nitpicking those minor little things about yourself. So stop obsessing. Another thing you need to do is you need to get in front of the mirror every day, naked. I know this is causing you all kinds of trouble right now in your mind. I don't want to look at myself naked in the mirror, right? You need to. You need to look at yourself full on, naked in the mirror, just as you do with your face every day. This way, A, you're accustomed to the way you look. And B, you just start accepting yourself because you are forcing yourself to look at what you look like. And if you're not obsessing about every little part of your body and you're just there telling yourself, I'm beautiful, I'm sexy, I'm attractive, it's going to do things in your mind. The other thing you need to do is limit your influences. So stop looking at beauty magazines or where you're going to see models all over the place. Just stop. Remove that stuff from yourself. If you are maybe shopping at stores that make you feel bad, stop shopping at those stores. There's an online world. Buy your stuff online. Go to the thrift store. Go to places that are going to sell things without all the marketing. If you find that every time you look at certain kinds of magazines or certain kinds of websites that you walk away feeling terrible about yourself, quit it. Somebody says, are you sure about looking in the mirror every day? I am absolutely sure you should look in the mirror every single day. Get your clothes off so you can get your shower and look in your mirror. Just look. Look at yourself. Listen, people, y'all are spending an awful lot of time looking at others. Stop it. Look at yourself. And so there is this idea that you should make your spouse your standard of beauty. So instead of saying, well, that person is really attractive compared to this person over here, say, my spouse is super attractive. I am attracted to them, and that is what I consider to be attractive. So everyone else would be compared to them, and they are the best, right? Start doing that for yourself too. Instead of saying to yourself, that is beautiful, that person over there. Now, I'm not saying you can't think other people are beautiful, all right? But stop making what someone else looks like your standard of beauty. You're not them. You can't look like them. You can't be them. Don't rob them of their beauty by trying to look exactly like them. Just look like you, right? Look like you in the mirror. And I had to deal with this when I went and bought a bathing suit this summer. I actually had probably the most positive experience buying this bathing suit because I went into it and instead of thinking to myself, I want to look like that girl on the tag, I decided I'm going to look like Keely in the bathing suit, not some model whom I don't even know in this bathing suit. And that really helped me. So, limit your influences. Limit what you're looking at. And so I had this actually happen to me when I worked at CVS. So back in the day in college, I worked at CVS, and I was in that store, and I was looking at all the prices in CVS. And this was like probably back before all the extra bucks and everything. Those things were very, very not really there yet. So if you're a couponer and you're listening to this, and you're probably going to be like, no, that's not how CVS is. But CVS's prices are more than Walmart, like in general. They just are, right? And this was back before all the couponing deals and everything could take place, because this is when I worked with them. I would be at CVS all day long. I worked there. And so I had started thinking, well, these prices aren't all that bad. That's really a good price. They'd put something on sale, and I would think, that's actually kind of a good deal for that. And I'm going to tell you, it was eye-opening. I got out of CVS and went into Walmart one day, and I started looking at everything in Walmart, and I was like, holy cow, this stuff here at CVS is actually really expensive compared to here at Walmart. So here's here's what I realized. What you surround yourself with, those influences, you're going to start getting accustomed to them. So if you surround yourself with your own body, the images of yourself, eventually you're going to start going, this is really not that bad. This is not as bad as I thought it was. Your perspective is going to change. So instead of surrounding yourself with a bunch of unrealistic, photoshopped, images, surround yourself with what is reality. It's your body. It's your husband's body. It's real people in your life. Make that your influence, okay? So let's get away from the things that are unrealistic. Another thing that you can do, I had to write these down, guys, so I don't forget. Wear something nice. If you don't like the way you look or feel in something, then change. And I hear a lot of women talk about how they wear yoga pants all the time or whatever. Now, I don't own yoga pants. I don't even know what they are really. I mean, I think they're these stretchy pants, I guess. I don't really own them. Because I don't really own athletic wear, really. That's not who I am. But there are a lot of pretty women that wear athletic wear, and they look amazing in it, honestly. And I think that they should stop feeling bad for wearing it. If you feel good in yoga pants and you feel like you look nice in yoga pants, wear the yoga pants. But whatever it is that you choose to put on, make sure you feel good in it. Don't think, I can't wear yoga pants because the world says, oh, somebody says it's not a good thing on a big rear. That's actually why I don't wear them, because I do have a big rear end. So I don't wear anything that is too stretchy across my rear unless I've got something long on. But that's because I just don't want to be inappropriate. But I see lots of women who can wear that stuff and they look perfectly fine. And me, I'm like, I look really inappropriate in this. So I don't wear yoga pants. But don't feel like you can't wear them if you feel good in them. If you feel like you look good in them, wear it. Find something that you feel like you look good in and wear it. Again, don't surround yourself with those influences that are unrealistic. Don't get a piece of clothing and look at the little person on the tag and think, I'm going to look like this in this outfit. No. You put on the outfit and you recognize this is what I look good in, okay? And there is actually this program out there called Dressing Your Truth. So if you're like, I don't know what to wear and I don't know what looks good on me, there is this whole program called Dressing Your Truth. You can go to dressingyourtruth.com. And if you want more information about it, you can always check in with Humorous Homemaking. Her name is Stacy, and she's just doing all this review of Dressing Your Truth. So you can go to humouroushomemaking.com and get some real, customer feedback about the program. They will teach you how to dress for yourself. If you're like, I don't know what to wear, there you have it. Someone who's going to tell you what the right kind of clothes are for you. So guys, wear something that you feel good in. I don't care what it is. It doesn't have to be amazing, just anything. Another thing that you need to do is exercise. Now, I'm going to tell you something. I broke up with exercise a long time ago. All right? I exercised like crazy as a teenager. It made me really actually feel bad about myself. But exercise does not look like one thing. Exercise doesn't have to be getting on a bike and riding it, like a stationary bike and riding it, okay? I had a Nordic track when I was growing up. It doesn't have to look like that. Exercise can look like anything. Just put effort into moving more. And I don't care if you lose weight or not. I'm just telling you, psychologically, working out or doing something that you know is healthier for you makes you feel better about the way you look. Even if you don't lose any weight, it can be kind of disappointing when you go to the store and you feel 10 pounds lighter, but you're not actually 10 pounds lighter, and you're trying to try stuff on, and you're like, but wait a minute, I ate a salad every day. Just don't go to the store, but just, incorporate something healthy into your life. So exercising or drinking more water or eating healthier or whatever. Now, I exercise a lot more than I used to. But some of the things I do is I stand up to work. I try not to sit down a whole lot. That I know is healthier for me. And it just makes me feel better about myself. So I'm not actually adding a lot of time into my day. I'm just making healthier choices. Somebody says they have adrenal fatigue. You have to be careful not to exercise too hard. Well, I have asthma and I have to exercise like a snail. So I know where you're coming from. However, because I exercise on my exercise bike a little bit more now, but I just try to do things that are more movement. So maybe I'm going to take a walk with the kids. Or maybe, like I said, I stand up to do my work. So I have like a standing counter desk area, and I make sure I'm drinking enough water. I make sure that I'm moving around. I stand up to fold my laundry. I stand up to do a lot of house chores. I just decide to walk away from where I'm standing a couple of times an hour. I don't let myself sit around a whole lot, so it just makes me feel better. Even so, if you're struggling with adrenal fatigue, or if you're like me, I'm asthmatic, every time I really get my heart rate going, I can't breathe. So I have to kind of keep it low key. But just anything that you tell your mind, I'm going to drink lemon in my water because that's healthier for me, you're going to feel better about yourself. So even if it's not exercise, adopt a healthy thing. Again, guys, this is all in your mind. It's a mind game. And so you're just trying to retrain your mind to feel good about who you are. Another thing that you can do, now this is particular, these next couple of things are particular in the bedroom. I want to feel sexy. How do I feel sexy? All right, so we've talked about, moving more and exercising and telling yourself you're beautiful and looking in the mirror and all that. But now we're in the bedroom and we want to have sex with our spouse and we want to feel sexy and we want to feel liberated. So what do? Well, first of all, set a nice environment. You will feel better when you are in the right environment. Now, I can't tell you what the right environment is for you, but you know what the right environment is to you. Do you feel good if your room is a wreck? Clean it up. If the messiness of the room doesn't bother you, then figure what else makes you feel good. Okay, so I know for me, I'm not going to relax if my room's the pits. I like to burn candles. That makes me feel lovely. I like to have certain glow of light. So, and I've turned these on for you guys in the past. I have Christmas lights above my bed, and that's actually really great lighting. It doesn't blind my eyes, but I can see what's going on. And I love the glow of Christmas lights. I just love it. There's Christmas lights all over my house. So I like to plug those in, and I like to put on certain kinds of music. If I'm really struggling to feel good one night, I'm going to set the atmosphere. Maybe do a little bit extra. It doesn't have to be a lot. It doesn't take more than a second to plug in my lights, and then a couple of seconds to pull up, instrumental jazz music is my favorite kind of music. It doesn't take very long to do those things. So set a good environment, something that makes you feel lovely. We are environment driven. So put your room together in a way that's going to make you feel good. All right? Also, your bedroom needs to be off limits to most things. Just remind yourself that when you're in the bedroom with your spouse, you're connecting with them. This is a place where you have sex, where you guys come together. So in my house, my kids are not allowed in my bedroom to hang out. They can come in if I invite them, but I just don't let them come in here because I don't want their toys in here. I do not want to be reminded that I am a mom. This is my place where I get to be a grown person and do grown things. So try to, as much as you can, keep that area sacred. All right? Toys. Somebody says toys. Oh, well, I don't know if you're saying like sex toys. I'm talking about toys that my kids come in here with and squeak. Okay. Another thing that you can do is you can have your spouse take some pictures of you. Get your lingerie on, get your whatever outfit you're going to wear, whatever sexy thing you're doing, and have your spouse take some pictures of you. All right? And then look at those pictures. Because I'm going to tell you something. It's just really different to see yourself in pictures versus seeing yourself in a mirror. Now, you don't have to keep these pictures on your phone. You can delete them. You don't have to back them up to your cloud or whatever. You can store them in an app. Snapchat, that's a kind of thing where your spouse could take a picture of you and text it to you, and you can look at it for a few seconds, and then it self-destructs. You could go with a couple app, which is coupleapp.com. You can look that up. You and your spouse can put these pictures in the app, and it doesn't even get on your phone. But I'm telling you, when you see yourself in pictures, I don't know why it helps your perspective, but it really does. I was feeling really fat sometime in maybe October, November. And I'm positive I was feeling fat in October and November because I wasn't eating as healthy as I normally do. And it's holidays, right? And so we're just eating all this garbage and eating out and all this, stuff. And I was like, oh, I'm so fat. Oh, I feel so fat. Well, my brother-in-law came into town with my sister-in-law, and they took family pictures of us. And I looked at these pictures later on, and I thought, I felt so fat. But in those pictures, I didn't seem fat at all. And it wasn't like he did not alter the pictures. It wasn't different angles or anything. It was just a picture. It brought so much perspective to me and helped me to realize that when I'm sitting here in front of the mirror and nitpicking myself to pieces, there's a different perspective when I'm seeing a full picture. Like full on length of myself. I can see an actual full picture of myself. It's not so bad. But when I'm in the mirror and I'm this close and I'm looking at all this stuff going on my nose and face and I can see all the blemishes, it's like, Instead, with a picture, you can see the full thing. What's actually like the full package. Instead of just honing in on that one little thing. Somebody says, I look heavier in pictures when I take them with my skinny husband. Well, don't take pictures with your husband for this exercise. Just to let him take pictures of you. I am really short. My husband is really tall. So when we're in pictures, he looks freakishly tall and I look freakishly short. So I understand that. But yes, pictures can really give you perspective. Let your spouse do that for you. And the other cool thing about that, about pictures, is that that's a very artistic point of view. So you're actually going to get to see yourself as much as you possibly can through your spouse's eyes. When your spouse takes a picture of you, they are going to get in the angles. They're going to be in the height or whatever that they're actually seeing you. And this is going to help you as much as possible to see yourself through their lens and what they see. And that, I'm going to tell you guys, really can help you. All right? Another way that you can feel sexy is to develop a bedroom language with your spouse. And I blogged about this on Love, Hope, Adventure. And a bedroom language is simply this. You and your spouse decide certain things that you're going to say to one another in the bedroom. So maybe you have pet names for one another and you use them while you're making love. Maybe you have labeled parts of your body in specific words that you guys use to talk about it with one another while you're making love to one another. And whatever it is that you guys decide, a bedroom language is the things that you say, the words that you use, the terminology that you have to describe to one another how you feel about what's happening or what you like about one another or whatever. And when you use that language in the bedroom with one another, it helps you to feel sexy. Words are so important. You need to be talking. You need to be communicating with your spouse during sex. Don't be quiet. Now, I know that if you have children next to you and stuff, you can't get super loud, but don't feel like you can't use your words. All right, so maybe you don't want to be having all this loud moaning and stuff, but use your words. Say them softly. Have something you can whisper in your lover's ears or something they can whisper in your ears. And it will help you to feel sexy because you are doing things and saying things that are sexual. And yesterday I talked about this. Having a sex life. Oh, and somebody says that it creates anticipation if you use those special words throughout the day. It does. You can text your spouse those special words and they're going to be ready, right? It makes you feel sexy because it's sexual. And really, think of it. Sexy, the root word is sex. So if you're having sex, you are sexy. All right? See what I did there? Sexual things make you sexy. And if you're married and you have a sex life, then you're sexy. So act like it. Now, I understand you don't always feel like it, but these are things you can do to actually feel sexier. It's going to be a daily battle, guys. It will. Somebody says, what about bad language in regards to our Christianity? This is where you and your spouse have to decide what you two are willing to say in the bedroom. What do you think in your relationship is God-honoring? Nobody can make that decision for you, all right? There are so many things in the bedroom that are very intimate, and they are to be discussed and discovered between husband and wife. And in your bedroom, you need to realize it's you, your spouse, and God. So what you're doing in there, make sure it's God-honoring. If somebody is feeling degraded by the language that is being used, then don't do it. If somebody is feeling used or abused by the things being said in the bedroom, all right? But if you're both feeling uplifted, if you're both feeling good about it, if you're both feeling at peace with, with God in your bedroom and what you're saying and what you're doing, that's between you and the Lord, all right? So if you're saying to yourself, if you're actually asking, okay, well, is cussing bad in the bedroom? Let me tell you guys something about cussing, okay? That is very cultural. The bad words in American language are very different than the bad words in other countries. So let me ask you something. In England, I think like bastard and stuff like that might be cussing in another culture, right? And I could be wrong here, but if I said bastard, I would not feel like I was really cussing, but in another culture I would be. So does that make it mean that I'm cussing? Does it really make that language bad? It's our own perceptions of the language and how we use it and our intentions behind it that makes language bad. It's the reason why we tell our children not to tell other people to shut up. All right? So language is bad when you decide it's bad. In your marriage bed, in your bedroom with your spouse, you guys get to decide what's okay and what's not. So if one of you views it as bad, then it's bad. So don't. If one of you, and somebody says I'm religious guilt, I think that you both have to decide on every step of the way of the things you do together sexually. How does it make me feel? And what can I do to feel free in my sex life? All right? Because sometimes we have guilt and shame for things that we should not feel guilty or feel shame about. And that will destroy your sexiness. If you feel guilty or shameful about the thought of viewing yourself as sexy, then you will never see yourself as sexy. And guys, there is nothing in the world wrong with feeling sexy with your spouse with your spouse. I'm not suggesting you get dressed up in certain ways and get out there and try and look sexy and be sexy for the rest of the world. I'm telling you, be sexy with your spouse. That is good. That is wonderful. That is what you were designed to be with your spouse, your husband, your wife. All right? Not with the rest of the world, but with your husband, with your wife. So if you're feeling shame and guilt because sexy seems like a bad word to you, then change your idea. Change your mindset. Stop letting what the world has done to our language, to certain words, cloud your judgment or cloud your view of it, all right? Sexy can be a bad word because people have made it a bad word. It doesn't have to be a bad word, and it doesn't have to describe bad things. It can be good. You just have to change your mindset. It can be good in the right context. And when you're in the right context, be sexy. All right? Your spouse is going to think you're sexy regardless of if you're out in public or if you're in the bedroom or whether you're wearing lingerie or whether you're not. They're in your marriage, be sexy. See what I'm saying? So those were the things that I kind of had to help you guys who are struggling to feel sexy. And I will probably explore this topic more on the blog at lovehopeadventure.com, and it's on my to-do list of things to write about. But if you guys have any questions or you want to give me any feedback, always feel free to contact me. You can email me at keely@lovehopeadventure.com, or you can private message me on Facebook at lovehopeadventure. And you can tweet at me, private message, lovehopeadvent. And I'm also on Instagram, Love Hope Adventures. So I'm kind of everywhere, and you guys can always get in touch with me. Thanks so much for joining me today, and I know this has been a little bit of a long scope, but it's just going to take a lot to talk about this stuff. And I hope that you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow.